Well guys, it's finally here, after 7 long years of waiting. As Star Wars The Clone Wars finally gets its long-awaited finale season, we're going to be making a series of 12 videos to come out with, one for each episode. We're planning on releasing these as soon after the episode release as possible, so stay tuned in the coming weeks. Season 7's first episode was absolutely phenomenal, but it probably left a fair few of you with one burning question in particular. What's so important about Anaxes? The setting of Season 7's first arc has never appeared in the show before, and we're told it's exceptionally important, but we're never really told why. Sure, the planet's got a pretty important shipyard, but we've seen battles on planets like that before, and none of them were as crucial as this one. So what gives? Why was Anaxes a make or break for the Republic? As it would turn out, Legends has our answer. In the years before the Republic, the humans of Coruscant colonized other systems in the core worlds, among which was the Axum system. The system became home to the Azor Imperium, an ancient spacefaring state that ruled from Axum, one of the system's habitable worlds. The other planet in the system was Anaxes, which became the primary shipyard and fortress world of the Azor Imperium. The Imperium was eventually absorbed into the Republic during the Unification Wars, but the respective roles of its primary planets remained the same. Axum kept its role as a major metropolitan center, while Anaxes continued to be a bastion of military might. The Axum system was one of many prominent core worlds located along the Polemian trade route, the axis along which the early Republic was built, and it was made incredibly prominent by its location. Axum remained the wealthier and more populous of the two worlds, but Anaxes' shipbuilding industry made it particularly important to the early Republic. At first, the Republic had no real standing military, but in 24,000 BBY, about a millennium after its founding, contact with a distant Tion cluster forced that to change. When the Republic scouts reached the Tion cluster, they came in peace, hoping that the distant human civilizations of the cluster would peacefully assimilate. But the Tionese, having been driven into poverty by centuries of Hutt ravages, had hopes of their own, and unlike the Republic, they had warships. Led by the Honorable Union of Decivro and Tion, they launched a war against their new neighbors, pillaging Republic systems and hoping to build an empire to oppose that of the Hutts. Their fleets ravaged their way down to the Polemian route, hoping to loot the core before the Republic could prepare a defense. Every new fleet the Tionese sent down the Polemium for the rest of that century-long war was met with a swift response from Anaxes, which was usually followed by a harsh counterattack. The Tionese War came to a close 23,900 years before the Battle of Yavin, with the assimilation of the Tion cluster into the Republic, and the Republic military was partly dissolved for a time, but the war had left its mark on Anaxes. Though Axum remained the richer and more populous of the two planets in the system, Anaxes overshadowed it from then on. Anaxes became the defender of the core, the gateway to the Republic's heart that no enemy could hope to overcome. Thousands of years passed, and the Republic grew exponentially. The Republic Navy was re-established during the PSD Crusades, and as it played a crucial role in the overthrow of the PSD cult, the prominence of Anaxes grew greatly thanks to the conflict. As we discussed in another video a few months ago, the end of the Crusades was what made the Republic Navy, and the traditions that were established at the end of the conflict would define it for millennia to come, even when the Republic ceased to exist and it became the Imperial Navy instead. At the heart of those traditions sat Anaxes. The massive Anaxes Citadel, the effective capital building of the planet, became home to the Republic Navy War College, the galaxy's foremost strategic facility, which was responsible for most standard naval tactics and even standard warship classifications. As time dragged on, and the Republic Navy fought war after war, Anaxes also became home to ever-increasing numbers of famed war heroes, many of whom lived in mansions in the Separ Hills, overlooking the Citadel. Anaxi families like the Holts, Ozels, Wermises, Banchirs, and the Yularans churned out notable fleet officers in conflict after conflict, further securing the importance of Anaxes in the Republic Navy. Anaxes played other important roles in the conflicts of the Old Republic era as well. When the Sith Empire, using a newly forged hyperspace route that led directly from Korriban right into the heart of the Core Worlds, attempted to crush the Republic in a series of all-out assaults on Coruscant, Corus Major, and other bastions of the Core, it was Anaxes that mustered the fleet for a counterattack.
We must fight to victory or death for the Republic!
From Anaxes, the Republic Navy drove the Sith from the Core and followed them into the unknown, ending the Great Hyperspace War with a resounding victory for the Republic. The fall of the Sith Empire was only the beginning of the old Sith Wars, but through the conflicts that followed, Anaxes remained strong.
And now... finally, we have returned.
When the shipyards of Forest fell to the Krath during the Great Sith War, it was Anaxes that allowed the Navy to recover and scatter the Sith forces arrayed against it. When the Mandalorians breached the core at Duro and came close to toppling the Republic, it was Anaxes that the galaxy looked to for safety. When Revan's Sith Empire came closer than any force ever had to bring the Republic to its knees, it was yet again Anaxes that kept the Republic standing, as its shipyards worked overtime to compensate for the loss of Forost, Fondor, and Rendili, all of which Revan had captured. Even during the Republic Dark Age, at the climax of the new Sith Wars, Anaxes remained the stalwart defender of the core, and it may well have been the only thing that kept the Republic alive during that century of darkness. When the Clone Wars broke out and the Republic Navy was reformed, Anaxes once again became a place of great importance. As with before, it was the headquarters of the Republic Navy, and when the Republic military was divided up into sector armies, it received another great honor. It became the headquarters of the 1st Sector Army, which guarded none other than Coruscant itself. The Clone Wars redefined galactic warfare in many, many ways, but there was one thing that the conflict didn't change, and that was Anaxes' crucial role as the defender of the core. Indeed, the defender of the core was needed during the Clone Wars more than it ever had been before. The CIS had holdings in the core worlds, and its campaigns breached the boundaries of the region several times. With the likes of General Grievous winning decisive separatist victories on bastions of the Republic like Duro and Humberine, Anaxes was once more the only world keeping the heart of the Republic safe. Even during the darkest parts of Operation Dirge's Lance, when Grievous conquered a massive swath of planets across the core, the galaxy could rest assured that he still hadn't gotten to Anaxes, and that, if he did, the defender of the core would drive him off like it had every other threat for millennia. The new season of Star Wars The Clone Wars will be new canon only, not Legends, but as the episode scripts were written in a time when Legends was the only canon out there, this is all perfectly relevant to the Bad Batch and other Anaxes episodes that are coming soon. The show may be depicting Anaxes a bit differently, as those forests weren't really present in Legends, but it's clear that the importance of the planet is still the same.
The droids have overrun our main production facility. It won't be long before the Separatists take Anaxes, compromising our entire reserve fleet.
And with that in mind, it becomes perfectly clear why the Republic absolutely could not afford to lose Anaxes. In this new arc, Admiral Trench came closer than anyone before him to bringing the Defender of the Core to its knees, and if he had succeeded, the Clone Wars would have been over right then and there. The Republic would have been crippled and it would have collapsed in a matter of weeks. With Anaxes in Separatist hands, Alsaken would have been swept away by Trench, Grievous and the Confederacy, and Coruscant itself would have then been next on the chopping block. So that's why Anaxes, the world featured prominently in the first episode of Star Wars The Clone Wars New Season 7, was so crucial to the Republic. As you watch the future installments of Season 7 in the coming weeks, keep in mind that our heroes aren't just fighting to save a planet this time. The battle for Anaxes is a fight for nothing short of control of the galaxy. Enjoy the episodes and be sure to post your thoughts in the comments section below. And just before you go guys, if you want to check out our wider community, make sure you check out our Geetsly's gaming network, our main Discord server, and our Patreon. All of those links are in the description below. Anyways guys, as always, thank you so much for watching and I hope to see you in the next video.